Hello, friends, it's me again, Joseph. Well, welcome to Catechism for Kids. Let's learn about amazing people of the Bible, and today we will learn about King Solomon. King Solomon, known as the son of King David, played a vital role in the history of ancient Israel as depicted in the Bible. He ascended to the throne after his father's death and became one of the most renowned and influential kings in Israel's history. His reign is estimated to have occurred around 970 to 931 BCE. Solomon's story is captured in the Old Testament books of 1 Kings, 2 Chronicles, and Proverbs. While King Solomon was known for his extraordinary wisdom and accomplishments, his life was not without flaws and challenges. By understanding the complexities of his character, we gain valuable insights into the human condition and the complexities of our own lives. Solomon was chosen by God to build the magnificent temple in Jerusalem, a symbol of his presence among his people. Additionally, Solomon's reputation for wisdom spread far and wide. His wisdom was demonstrated in a famous story where he resolved a dispute between 2 women claiming to be the mother of a child. This incident showcased Solomon's ability to discern the truth and make fair judgments. However, his story is also a cautionary tale. Despite his wisdom, he fell into the trappings of wealth, power, and idolatry. He accumulated vast riches, amassing gold, silver, and other valuable treasures. He engaged in political alliances through marriages to foreign women, which ultimately led him astray from worshiping the one true God and caused divisions within his kingdom. Understanding the complexities of Solomon's character helps us realize that even those who possess great wisdom and achievements are not immune to temptation and human frailties. Solomon's life teaches us the importance of remaining grounded in our faith, seeking wisdom, and being mindful of the choices we make. By delving into the life of King Solomon, we gain valuable lessons about the highs and lows of human existence. The pursuit of wisdom and the importance of staying true to our spiritual values amidst the temptations of the world. In the following sections, we will explore Solomon's wisdom, the construction of the temple, his pursuit of wealth and idolatry, the book of Ecclesiastes, and the enduring legacy of this complex biblical figure. One of the most remarkable aspects of King Solomon's life was his exceptional wisdom, which was bestowed upon him as a gift from God. The Bible tells us that when Solomon became king, God appeared to him in a dream and offered to grant him whatever he desired. Instead of asking for wealth, power, or long life, he humbly requested wisdom to govern God's people justly and discern between right and wrong. God, pleased with Solomon's request, not only granted him wisdom, but also promised to bless him with riches and honor beyond compare. Solomon's wisdom was not merely intellectual prowess, but a deep understanding of human nature and the ways of God. It allowed him to navigate complex situations, provide wise counsel, and make sound decisions that brought prosperity and harmony to the kingdom of Israel. People from far and wide sought his wisdom, and his reputation as a wise king spread throughout the region. An exemplary illustration of Solomon's wisdom is the well-known story of his judgment in the dispute between 2 women claiming to be the mother of a child. The women came before Solomon, each claiming that the baby belonged to her. Unable to determine the truth, Solomon devised a clever plan to expose the real mother. He proposed to divide the child into 2 halves, intending to give each woman an equal share. However, the true mother, driven by her love and compassion, begged Solomon to spare the child's life and instead give him to the other woman. Solomon recognized the true mother's selflessness and love, understanding that she would rather give up her child than see him harmed. In his wisdom, he awarded the child to the rightful mother, revealing his discernment and ability to see beyond appearances. This story highlights not only Solomon's wisdom, but also his capacity to understand the depths of human emotions and motivations. It teaches us that true wisdom extends beyond knowledge and reasoning. It involves empathy, compassion, and the ability to see the heart of a matter. King Solomon's wisdom serves as an inspiration and a timeless lesson for us all. It reminds us of the value of seeking wisdom and discernment in our own lives. Wisdom helps us navigate the complexities of our world, make informed choices, and treat others with fairness and compassion. In our pursuit of wisdom, we can turn to God just as he did. Through prayer, reflection, and studying God's Word, we can seek divine guidance and understanding. Wisdom is not solely the domain of the intellectual elite, but is accessible to all who earnestly seek it. Wisdom enables us to discern between right and wrong, to make sound judgments, and to approach challenges with clarity and insight. It helps us understand the consequences of our actions and make choices that align with our values and the teachings of our faith. In a world filled with conflicting information and choices, cultivating wisdom is more important than ever. It empowers us to live purposefully and make a positive impact on our families, communities, and society as a whole. As we strive to walk in the footsteps of King Solomon, let us remember the profound significance of seeking wisdom and discernment, allowing these virtues to guide us on our journey of faith. Solomon's Temple, also known as the First Temple, or the Temple of Solomon, is an architectural marvel that reflected the grandeur and opulence of its time. It was constructed in Jerusalem as a place of worship and the central sanctuary for the Israelites. The temple was an awe-inspiring structure, built with the finest materials, skilled craftsmanship, and intricate details. The exterior of the temple was adorned with massive stones, meticulously carved and fitted together to create a majestic facade. The interior was equally impressive, featuring lavish decorations, ornate furnishings, and sacred artifacts. The walls were embellished with precious metals, intricate carvings, and beautiful tapestries, reflecting the honor and reverence the Israelites bestowed upon their place of worship. The temple's design and construction were carried out with meticulous precision and attention to detail. Skilled artisans and craftsmen dedicated their talents to create a space that would be worthy of God's presence. The splendor of the temple was a testament to the Israelites' deep reverence for God and their desire to offer their very best to Him. The construction of the temple held immense significance for the Israelites as it symbolized the dwelling place of God among His people. It served as a physical representation of God's covenant with the Israelites and His desire to be in a close relationship with them. The temple was seen as the meeting point between the earthly realm and the divine, where God's presence could be experienced in a unique, intangible way. The innermost chamber of the temple, known as the Holy of Holies, housed the Ark of the Covenant, which contained the stone tablets with the 10 Commandments. This sacred space was believed to be the dwelling place of God's presence on earth. It was a place of reverence and holiness, accessible only to the high priest and only once a year on the Day of Atonement. The temple became the focal point of Israelite worship, drawing people from all over the nation to offer sacrifices, seek forgiveness, and engage in acts of devotion. It provided a sense of unity and identity for the Israelites, reinforcing their faith and reinforcing the centrality of God in their lives. While we may not have a physical temple in the same sense as Solomon's temple, the principles and lessons derived from it are still relevant today. The grandeur and opulence of the temple serve as a reminder of the reverence we should bring to our own places of worship. Just as the Israelites approached the temple with awe and humility, we are called to approach worship at Mass with a similar attitude. Our churches may vary in architectural style and size, but they hold the same purpose: to create a sacred space where we can encounter God and express our devotion, drawing parallels with the temple. We are reminded to offer our very best to God at Mass. This involves full active participation in the Eucharistic celebration. We should strive to cultivate an atmosphere of reverence, acknowledging the presence of the divine and approaching our worship with humility and awe. Additionally, the construction of the temple teaches us the importance of creating spaces that inspire reverence and facilitate encounters with the divine. It encourages us to invest in the beauty and upkeep of our churches, understanding that the physical environment can influence our spiritual experiences. Furthermore, the temple's significance as the meeting point between the earthly and the divine prompts us to recognize that God's presence is not limited to a physical structure. We, as individuals and as a community, can become living temples where God's presence dwells. We are called to offer our bodies and lives as a spiritual offering, honoring God in all that we do. In the Eucharist, we become living tabernacles. King Solomon's reign was characterized by immense wealth and opulence. He accumulated vast riches through trade, tribute, and taxation, becoming one of the wealthiest monarchs of his time. The resources pouring into his kingdom allowed him to amass gold, silver, and other valuable treasures. Solomon's wealth manifested in the grandeur of his court, his palaces, and the lavish feasts he hosted. His luxurious lifestyle not only reflected his prosperity, but also drew admiration and envy from neighboring nations. The wealth and splendor associated with his rule became symbols of power and prestige. However, the focus on material possessions and lavish living raises important questions about the pursuit of wealth and its potential consequences. Solomon's pursuit of wealth and power led him to form political alliances through marriage with many foreign women. While these alliances may have been motivated by strategic considerations, they ultimately compromised his faith and integrity. The foreign wives introduced their own religious practices and beliefs, which included idol worship and pagan rituals. Over time, he succumbed to their influence, allowing idolatry to take root in his kingdom. The presence of multiple wives from different cultures and religious backgrounds contributed to the erosion of Solomon's devotion to God. His willingness to compromise his faith and engage in practices contrary to his own beliefs resulted in a spiritual decline. This aspect of Solomon's life serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the dangers of compromising our values and faith for the pursuit of personal gain. Solomon's pursuit of wealth and idolatry had far-reaching consequences. Despite his initial devotion to God, his actions led to the division of the kingdom after his death. The repercussions of his choices and the spiritual decline under his reign had a lasting impact on the nation of Israel. His story serves as a warning about the potential dangers of materialism and idolatry in our own lives. Material wealth, while not inherently wrong, can easily become an idol when it consumes our thoughts, actions, and priorities. The relentless pursuit of wealth and possessions can distract us from our spiritual journey, leading to a shallow and empty existence. Additionally, idolatry goes beyond the worship of physical idols. It can manifest as the worship of money, power, success, or any other object or pursuit that takes precedence over our relationship with God. When we prioritize material wealth and worldly desires over our spiritual well-being, we risk losing sight of our true purpose and the values that bring fulfillment and meaning to life. Solomon's experience teaches us that true wealth and fulfillment lie in our relationship with God and the pursuit of righteousness. It prompts us to evaluate our own lives and consider the extent to which we prioritize material possessions and worldly achievements. Are we allowing these pursuits to overshadow our spiritual growth and our commitment to God and others? By reflecting on Solomon's story, we are reminded to guard against the allure of materialism and the temptations that can lead us astray. It calls us to seek a balanced approach to wealth, recognizing that our true worth lies not in what we possess, but in who we are and how we live our lives in service to God and others. Solomon's reign left an indelible mark on the history of Israel. He inherited a kingdom that was relatively stable and unified, and through his wisdom and leadership, he further solidified Israel's position as a prominent regional power. Under his rule, Israel experienced an era of peace and prosperity, enjoying economic growth, cultural development, and diplomatic relationships with neighboring nations. Moreover, Solomon played a pivotal role in the preservation of the Davidic dynasty. As the son of King David, he ensured the continuity of the royal lineage, fulfilling God's promise that the throne would be established forever in the house of David. Solomon's reign served as a bridge between the reign of his father, David, and the subsequent kings who followed in the Davidic line. Solomon's life is a rich source of valuable lessons that we can apply to our own lives. From his successes and failures, we can gain insights into the complexities of human nature, the consequences of our choices, and the importance of seeking wisdom and discernment. One of the key lessons we can learn from Solomon's successes is the power of wisdom. Solomon's renowned wisdom brought prosperity, stability, and admiration to his kingdom. It underscores the significance of seeking wisdom in our own lives, recognizing that true success and fulfillment come not only from knowledge or accomplishments, but from a deep understanding of ourselves, others, and God's ways. On the other hand, Solomon's story also reveals the dangers of compromise and straying from one's faith. His accumulation of wealth, alliances through marriage, and subsequent engagement in idolatry led to spiritual decline and division within the kingdom. From his failures, we learn the importance of guarding our hearts, staying true to our beliefs, and being mindful of the choices we make. As they can have far-reaching consequences, Solomon's legacy compels us to seek God's wisdom above all else. In a world that often values material wealth, power, and success, Solomon's story reminds us that true riches lie in our relationship with God. It encourages us to prioritize spiritual growth, recognizing that the pursuit of wisdom, righteousness, and a deep connection with God bring lasting fulfillment and purpose. Moreover, Solomon's story encourages us to remain steadfast in our faith. Even in the face of temptations and worldly distractions, it reminds us that our choices have consequences, and compromising our values and beliefs can lead us astray from God's plan for our lives. By staying anchored in our faith and seeking God's guidance, we can navigate life's challenges with integrity and discernment. Friends, now close your eyes and think about what we learned today. Ask God for wisdom and guidance, and always remember that Jesus loves you. See you next time, and God bless you always.